I always believed love conquered all. Emily and I built a life together. Married young, raised a daughter, lived in a quiet neighborhood. From the outside, everything seemed perfect. But beneath the surface, something felt off. She grew distant. Her laughter no longer reached her eyes, and our conversations turned stale. Late nights at work became her excuse. When I questioned her absences, she brushed me off with a tired smile. "You're overthinking again," she'd say, kissing my cheek before retreating to the bedroom. Our daughter, Chloe, noticed the change too. At 15, she was sharp, observant, and unafraid to voice her concerns. "Dad, Mom acts weird. She hides her phone, whispers on calls. It's like she doesn't care about us anymore." I wanted to defend Emily, to believe she was loyal. But deep down, suspicion gnawed at me. So one night, I did what I never thought I would. I checked her phone. Locked. A sinking feeling formed in my chest. Why would she need a passcode when we never kept secrets before? Days turned into weeks, each moment filled with doubt. Then, fate handed me the truth in the cruelest way possible. One evening, Emily stepped into the shower, leaving her laptop unlocked. A notification popped up, a message from an unknown number. "Last night was incredible. I can't stop thinking about you." My heart pounded. My hands trembled. I clicked on the chat. Messages, pictures, memories she shared with another man. It felt like my soul shattered. Emily stepped out, towel wrapped around her, oblivious to the storm brewing inside me. "Everything okay?" she asked, tilting her head. I closed the laptop, inhaled sharply, and forced a smile. "Yeah, everything's fine." But nothing was fine. Not anymore. Pretending ignorance was torture. Every kiss she gave me felt like poison. Every "I love you" sounded like a lie. Nights turned restless. Anger and heartbreak twisted inside me. I needed proof. Solid proof. So, I installed a tracker on her phone, monitored her texts, and followed her one evening when she claimed she had a meeting. She drove to a hotel. My pulse quickened. Hands clenched, I watched as she stepped out of the car, glancing around nervously before disappearing inside. Minutes later, a man arrived, tall, well-dressed, confident. He walked in after her. Blood roared in my ears. I could have stormed in, caused a scene, let my rage explode. But I didn't. Instead, I took photos, evidence of her betrayal. If she wanted to lie, I would make sure the truth crushed her. That night, I waited. She returned home, slipped into bed beside me, whispered, "I love you." I turned away, disgust curling in my stomach. The next morning, over breakfast, I slid my phone across the table. "Explain this." Her face drained of color. Hands trembled as she picked up the device. A sharp inhale, wide eyes, lips parted. She was caught. "Who is he?" I asked, voice cold, detached. Tears welled in her eyes. "It's not what it looks like." I laughed bitterly. "Not what it looks like. You sneaking into a hotel with another man. What else could it be?" Chloe entered the kitchen then, eyes flickering between us. "What's going on?" Emily shook her head, pleading, "Not now." But Chloe wasn't stupid. She grabbed my phone, saw the images, and turned to her mother with raw betrayal on her face. "You cheated?" Emily's tears fell. "Sweetheart, it's..." "Don't call me that," Chloe shouted. "You lied to Dad. You ruined everything." Pain sliced through me, not just from Emily's actions but from the devastation in my daughter's voice. Emily reached for Chloe, but she pulled away. "I hate you." And with that, everything fell apart. Emily packed her bags. There was no begging, no grand apologies, just shame in her downcast eyes. Chloe refused to speak to her, locking herself in her room. The house felt colder without Emily's presence. Nights stretched endlessly, filled with silence and memories I wished I could erase. But the worst was yet to come. One evening, as I sat on the couch, nursing a glass of whiskey, Chloe stormed into the room, fury burning in her eyes. "This is your fault," she hissed. I blinked, caught off guard. "What?" She clenched her fists, shoulders shaking. Mom cheated because she wasn't happy. And she wasn't happy because of you. The accusation hit like a truck. I set the glass down, inhaling sharply. Chloe, she made a choice. This isn't my fault. You didn't love her enough. You ignored her. Her voice cracked, but her anger didn't waver. My throat tightened. I loved her. I gave her everything. Then why did she look for someone else? She spat. You should have tried harder. Pain and anger twisted inside me. Chloe, marriage isn't just about one person trying. She broke our trust. She destroyed our family. Tears streamed down her cheeks. I just want my family back. So did I. But some things couldn't be undone. The days dragged on. Chloe avoided me, barely speaking unless necessary. I wanted to comfort her, but how could I when she saw me as the villain? Then one afternoon, the silence broke. Chloe stood in the doorway of my study, arms crossed. I talked to Mom, she muttered. I swallowed hard. And she said she regrets everything, that she still loves you. I exhaled slowly, choosing my words carefully. Love isn't just words, Chloe. Love is loyalty. She chose someone else. She looked away. What if she comes back? I shook my head. Some things can't be fixed. She didn't argue. She just nodded, turned, and walked away. For the first time, I saw it, the acceptance settling in her eyes. Maybe she still blamed me. Maybe she always would. But at least she was starting to understand. Months passed, yet the wounds remained fresh. The house felt emptier, even though Emily's presence no longer haunted it. Chloe and I barely spoke beyond the necessary, our conversations reduced to short, hollow exchanges. She still blamed me, still carried the weight of her mother's betrayal like a wound she refused to let heal. One evening, as I sat on the porch, watching the sun dip below the horizon, my phone buzzed. A message from Emily. Can we talk? I stared at the screen, my pulse steady, my heart unmoved. She had lost the power to shake me. Ignoring the message, I turned my gaze back to the sunset. But minutes later, Chloe stepped outside, arms crossed. She's been calling me too, she admitted. I nodded. I figured she would. Chloe hesitated. She wants to come back. A bitter chuckle escaped me. And you? Do you want that? She bit her lip. I want things to be normal again. Normal. The word stung. There was no going back. No returning to the life we once had. I leaned forward, resting my elbows on my knees. Chloe, love doesn't survive betrayal. It can forgive, but it doesn't forget. Do you think I should take her back? She hesitated. I don't know. I sighed. You're young. You believe love can fix anything. But trust me, it can't. Tears filled her eyes. I just don't want to lose my family. You haven't lost it, I said softly. I'm still here. She looked away, wiping her face. And Mom? I exhaled. She made her choice. The next day, Emily showed up at the house. Chloe let her in before I could protest. She stood in the living room, looking smaller, weaker. I miss you, she whispered. I studied her, waiting for anger, pain, anything. But all I felt was indifference. You don't miss me. You miss what you lost. Tears slid down her cheeks. It was a mistake. I shook my head. No. It was a choice. Her lips trembled. Is there really no chance? I met her gaze, unflinching. No. For the first time, I saw understanding dawn in her eyes. The realization that actions have consequences. That some betrayals are unforgivable. She turned to Chloe, desperate. Please. Chloe hesitated, but didn't step forward. Emily nodded, defeated. Without another word, she left. As the door closed, Chloe sat beside me. Did I lose my mother? I sighed. No. But she lost us. For the first time in months, she leaned her head on my shoulder. And in that moment, I knew we would be okay.